When a player played in Pele's era, it was so difficult to outshine him. All the goals, the constant media attention, and the World Cup trophies that Pele won made him something that the media could not take their eyes off of, and football fans around the world. But what happens if there was someone who was potentially better than Pele, who played in his era? His name is Eusebio da Silva Ferreira, also known as the Black Panther. Hey guys, We Talk Football here, and welcome back to our We Talk Throwback series. And today we look at the legend of Eusebio da Silva Ferreira. Eusebio da Silva Ferreira was born January 25, 1942. He was born in the Mafalala neighborhood in Mozambique. His parents were Laurindo Antonio da Silva Ferreira, a white railroad worker, and Elisa Anissa Beni, a black Mozambique woman. He was Elisa's fourth child. Raised in an extremely poor society, he used to skip school classes to play barefoot football with his friends on improvised pitches and using improvised football. His father died from tetanus when Eusebio was 8 years old, so Elisa almost exclusively took the parental career of a young Eusebio. Eusebio first started to play for a local amateur team called Os Brasileiros, the Brazilians, in honor of the great Brazilian national team of the 1950s that he and his friends formed. They would play under the names of some of those superstars. The balls they used to use were made of socks stuffed with newspapers, rolled into spears. He tried to enlist with some friends for the team Grupo Desportivo de Lourenço de Marque, his favorite team, and a Benfica feeder team, also the team where Marlo Coluna had played before his move to Benfica, but was rejected without being even given a chance to prove his worth. Finally, at 18 years old, Benfica took him in, and Eusebio moved to Lisbon in his late teens, and was only discovered due to the efforts of Brazilian former player José Carlos Bauer, who saw him in Lourenço Marques in 1960. Eusebio could run 100 meters in under 11 seconds. Although he preferred playing with his right foot, Eusebio could use the left just as well. At times, Eusebio would surprise opponents with his dribbling ability, seemingly a talent he preferred to keep secret. Bauer recommended Eusebio first to his former club, Sao Paulo, but they turned him down, and Benfica came and swooped him in, and later would be the best decision they ever made. Eusebio had everything. He was blessed with explosive speed and strength, but he balanced this sheer athleticism with delicate, quick feet. He'd beat you for pace and strength, and then skill too, just for good measure. But what set Eusebio apart was his eye for goal. In 440 competitive games for Benfica, he scored a quite frankly ridiculous 473 goals. He was a little bit more than a 20-goal-a-season man. Almost as extraordinary as Eusebio's goal scoring was the manner in which his professional career unfolded in the first place. When José Carlos Bauer told Benfica coach Bela Gutmann in a barbershop in Lisbon, Gutmann got himself on his first plane to Mozambique in order to witness this prodigy in the flesh. He persuaded Eusebio to sign for Benfica right under the noses of rival Sporting. When he arrived in Portugal, Eusebio was forced to hide out in a remote fishing village as Benfica feared their rivals were plotting a kidnap operation. Eusebio had to wait 5 months for his Benfica debut. Such was the strength of their side in the 60s. At an invitational tournament in France in the summer of 1961, the Portuguese club caught a glimpse of just what a player they had on their hands. Losing 4-0 in the final to Pele Santos, Benfica brought on 19-year-old Eusebio in the second half. He scored a 17-minute hat-trick and won his side a penalty. The victory was ultimately Santos, but the front and back pages were all Eusebio's. The following year, Eusebio's first season in professional football, Benfica stormed to European glory for the second year on the trot. They beat a fabulous Real Madrid in the final, with Alfredo Di Stefano and Ferenc Puskás lining up for Los Blancos. Puskás scored a hat-trick, but Eusebio grabbed a brace for Benfica as they ran out a 5-3 winners. The pair swapped shirts at full time. Football's present great passing the baton over to football's future at the time. During his time at Benfica, Eusebio helped the side to 11 Primeira Liga titles in 15 years, with Eusebio winning the 1965 European Football of the Year in the process. Despite enjoying a decade and a half of incredible domestic success, it is Eusebio's remarkable performances at the World Cup that have immortalized him in football history. Portugal headed to England in the 1966 World Cup, with Eusebio at the peak of his powers. The forward was the star of the tournament, winning the Golden Boot as he hit 9 goals in just 5 matches. Eusebio scored 2 goals as Portugal beat Pele's Brazil 3-1 in the group stages, one of which was a stunning volley from the tightest of angles. North Korea awaited in the quarterfinals. What unfolded is one of the greatest games in World Cup football history, with Eusebio at his very core, playing his best. The underdogs raced into a 3-0 lead, but Portugal's talisman was on hand to bring his country back from the brink. Eusebio scored 4 times to complete a remarkable comeback as Portugal booked their place in the last 4. Their semi-final against host England was conventionally moved from Goodison Park, the scene of Portugal's North Korea's triumph, to Wembley by English authority. Portugal lost 2-1, with Eusebio in tears at full time. Although there is much speculation about why the game was moved, and the English fearing that Eusebio would thrive on the ground he completed that amazing comeback, nothing can take away from his performances in that World Cup. For a serial winner, Eusebio lost very well too. In the 1968 European Cup final against Manchester United, the striker was bearing down on goal in the dying minutes, with the two sides inseparable. He was presented with a golden opportunity to win the game, but fired the ball straight at the United goalkeeper, Alex Steffen. Despite the stakes, pressures, and magnitude of the occasion, he put his arms around Stephanie and applauded him on this save. Eusebio was exceptional. He was the first truly great African footballer, treading a path from poverty to the very top of the game that so many others would follow. He played with purity and flair and epitomized everything that makes the beautiful game so beautiful. Towards the later end of his career, in 1976 and 77, Eusebio played for 2 smaller Portuguese clubs, Beira-Mar in the first division and União de Tomar in the second division. He also played in the North American Soccer League, NASL, for 3 different teams from 1975 to 1977. Boston, Toronto, and Las Vegas. His most successful seasons in the NASL were in 1976 with Toronto. He scored the winning goal in their 3-0 victory at the Soccer Bowl to win the NASL title. The same year, he played 10 games for Monterrey in the Mexican League. But like every football, age caught up with Eusebio as well. And although his knees robbed him from his ability to continue in the NASL, Eusebio wanted to continue to play football. He found a home in 1978 with New Jersey Americans of the second-tier American Soccer League, ASL. He went to play 5 games for the Buffalo Stallions during the 1979-80 Major League Indoor Soccer League season. He retired in 1979 and formed part of the technical committee of the Portuguese national football team. All in all, Eusebio was one of the greatest players coming out of Pele's era and may be considered better than Pele. But unfortunately, in 2014, January 5th, Eusebio died at his home due to heart failure at age 71. It was a sad day for football, and players around the world remember him to this day, as he paved the way for so many African players and Portuguese heroes. With this being said, this video is in memory of Eusebio and all he had done for the footballing world in his career. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you consider Eusebio one of the greatest players of all time? Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys in the next one.